You are listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, and this is Breaking the Ice. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. It's your host, Connor Cupin. I got Philip Ellers along with me. How's it going, my friend? It's been a week. It's been a singular week since we last did the show.
Going well, Connor. Just trying to talk some hockey today, you know what I'm saying?
Of course,
Season's
man. Last time we talked about clinching scenarios and elimination scenarios. Let's see how right we were. I remember the Rangers, I'm pretty sure they clinched that night, correct?
Yes, they did.
They did clinch that night. Florida did end up losing that game to Boston. So you were right that Arizona was eliminated that night, I believe, unless, I forget who said that. I forget if you said they got eliminated or I did. Honestly, don't remember. But the Coyotes were eliminated that night when we did the show, and the Rangers did clinch. So I want to talk about I'm going to start right with it. Let's go right to the New York Rangers, man. This past week. So, first off, they clinched. Congratulations against the Philadelphia Flyers in overtime. How was that game? Watching, there's 4 games this week, so we're going to start talking all Rangers. Talking about that 6-5 overtime win against the Flyers.
That game was crazy, to say the least. I felt like the Flyers' 5 goals, 4 of them probably shouldn't have went in the net, if I'm going to be honest.
Shouldn't have gone in?
Shouldn't have gone in. But that's
and why is that? On the defense or on Shesterkin? I assume he was in goal that day. So what would you say that would be more on those shots?
I would say more just like some lucky bounces, you know what I mean? It's just the way the Flyers play. They just get a lot of people to the net, deflections all over the place, and the puck just sneaks in sometimes. So just messy goals by the Flyers in that game, I'd say. But that was a fantastic game, though. The Rangers came back from 2-0 down, took the lead. The Flyers tied it right away. Rangers took the lead. Flyers tied it again, and that continued on into overtime.
Yeah, thoughts on Vincent Trocheck's shorthanded goal right there?
Fantastic. I thought Mikko was going to shoot there, actually, but nice pass over to Trocheck.
Little tip-in shot right there and ties it up. Now, when the Flyers tied it with 4 minutes to go, are you like, man? Or do you trust this team in overtime?
I trust the Rangers in overtime. They have very strong record in overtime with only 4 overtime and shootout losses, and the Flyers just don't have the firepower that the Rangers have in a 3-on-3 situation, and the Rangers had better goaltending, so I was very confident going to the overtime.
And you called it too, Adam Fox's goal.
And
he scored the game winner 36 seconds in.
Yes.
36 seconds in, scored the game winner, clinched the playoffs, and then a couple days later took on the Avalanche. Colorado Avalanche winning in a shootout. Thrilling one there.
Yeah, it's a potential Stanley Cup final preview there. 2 of the best teams in the league. And it led up to it. Shesterkin had a huge game in net, facing 40 shots, saving 39 of them. But the shootout, Mika Zibanejad had a beautiful goal in that shootout, if I remember correctly.
It appears it was a Panarin and Trocheck.
I got my games confused, my bad. But Panarin and Trocheck in the shootout take down a tough Colorado team. In Colorado, again, Rangers came from behind in that game.
Yeah. Down 1, well, less serious, down 1-0, then they took the lead again. Devin Taves tied it up, but shootout winner to keep it moving, and they've currently, then after that was their 4th straight win, then demolishing the Coyotes at home. Mullet Arena victory for number 50 right there.
The Alexis Lafreniere game with a hat trick and 2 assists. He's finally here.
Was that the... So when the Coyotes tied it up, was it with an empty net? Nick Bjugstad's goal with less than a minute to go in the game. I'm just assuming.
That was in the second period, Nick Bjugstad.
Oh, my mistake. I really cannot read. My apologies, y'all. But, yeah, I don't know what I was thinking, because then tried to come back, but 8 goals, 2 empty netters from Panarin and Lafreniere.
Yeah, 5 goals in the third period for the Rangers. Helped seal the game. 1 goal by none other than Barclay Goodrow.
Short-handed.
Doesn't happen often, but he did score a goal, Connor.
And with a man down, scored that goal. 8-5 victory, 5 straight wins. And then what happened with the Penguins yesterday? Just yesterday, right?
Yeah, last night. I didn't get to see much of that game. I was in Citi Field watching my New York Mets play. But,
Watching my New York Mets play. Hello, Queens, baby.
I don't know. I didn't see much of the game last night, but it just seems Pittsburgh came out strong, and the Rangers clinched already. The Penguins need wins more than the Rangers.
That's
and
true.
Penguins seem to want that one a little bit more last
They
night.
scored 2 empty netters in that one, but aside from the loss, looking pretty good today. We'll do some win-loss. We'll talk about do some pick'ems for today's games coming up. But the Rangers are in a pretty good spot. They're the first team to 50 wins, I believe, in the whole league. The only team right now with 50 wins. So they could finish right there. They're in line for that President's Trophy.
Yeah.
Is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing to you?
I don't know. There's talk about the President's Trophy curse and
Of course, yeah.
what have you, that the team that wins the President's Trophy doesn't win the Stanley Cup. I don't know. I'm not the biggest believer in that whole
I believe
thing.
the last team to do both was
The 2013
Yeah,
Chicago
yeah.
Blackhawks, yes.
I agree. So it's not like it's impossible, but it's just like it's what happens in sports. I mean, last year, look at the Bruins, you know?
Mm-hmm.
2 years ago, I believe the President's Trophy winner was the Panthers. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And that did not work at all. They got swept in the second round. 3 years ago in 2021, let me try and think of who that was. It was either Carolina or Toronto. I can't remember. In those 56 games, the 1 seeds in those 4 divisions, I remember Toronto being a 1 seed in that Canada division. You had Carolina being a 1 seed. Ooh, who else was a 1 seed that year? This is difficult. Canada division was Toronto. Florida's division, it was Carolina that had that 1 seed. Then out of the teams out west, Colorado?
It's Colorado or Dallas, I think.
Dallas was in the Cup final the year before. But from what I remember, I'm pretty sure it was Colorado because Vegas took them down as a 2 seed. And then the other division out east, which is the Islanders were in that one, but they weren't the 1 seed.
But Boston maybe?
I don't even
Penguins?
remember, man. I can't even remember
remember.
the President's Trophy winner that year, but whatever. Who cares? Carolina's right there, though. 3 points behind. Are you concerned about them at all?
I think Carolina's always been a team that they're one of the best teams in the league, but they haven't ever made the big move, and they made the big move with Jake Gensel this year, and it's paid off so far. Jake Gensel has played fantastic with the Hurricanes, and they just have a system with Rob Brindamore that they wear teams down, and
Phenomenal team. Yeah, you got to give them credit.
They're a scary team in the playoffs, I think, this year.
But I was saying more so, do you think they can catch the Rangers for the lead in the division?
It's definitely possible.
They got 2 games against Boston, right? But you want to hear the rest of their schedule?
Yeah.
2 games against the Blue Jackets, 1 game against the Blackhawks, a game against Washington, and then a game against St. Louis. They could win all 5.
Yeah, they have
And they could definitely beat the Bruins as well.
outside of Boston, they don't have much of a challenging schedule. The rest of
Their
the way.
1 game against Boston this year, they won 3-2. So could they win all 7 of these?
All 7, I think that's a stretch because I don't think they're going to take 2 from Boston. I could see them winning 5 out of 7.
5 out of 7? All right.
Yeah. The Rangers, not that they have a cupcake schedule, but play the Devils, Detroit, then Montreal, the Islanders twice, Philadelphia, and Ottawa.
That's an easier one. That's certainly an easier one than
It's not a hard schedule by any means.
for the President's Trophy winners, potentially. They could totally be the team that takes it. I have no problems seeing that out. That is certainly a possibility.
Yeah.
You know? But aside from that, clearly those are the only 2 seeds. They're locked in. The Rangers and Hurricanes are locked into 1 and 2 in the Metro. Did you expect Washington to come back so much? They held the division the other day. They were holding the number 3 spot, but now Philly has it. Philly and Washington are fighting back and forth for that 3 and 4. Who do you think is going to come away with it?
I still believe in the Washington Capitals to take that third spot. The Flyers are 1 point up currently on the Capitals, but the Capitals have 3 games in hand.
Exactly.
So if they win 2 of those 3 games, that puts them 3 points ahead of the Flyers.
And you know who plays the last game of the season against them? The Flyers.
Yeah. But
It's going to be a big game to end the season.
I wasn't expecting the Capitals to have this resurgence late in the season. Their goal differential is -31.
Yeah, it's pretty bizarre. It's certainly Phillies is -17 as well. They have they have a lower goal differential than the Senators, which just means this: when they win their games, they win by a little bit, and when they lose, they get blown out.
Yeah.
So what that reminds me of is those 2022 Minnesota Vikings. That's how I see it. Whoever they play in the first round, they're going to get smashed. Is the way I see this going.
Yeah, I'm looking at their schedule right now. They have a lot of 5-0, 4-0, 6-0 losses, and it's one way to skew your goal differential.
And to play the season out, 1 game against Tampa Bay, 1 game against Boston, 1 game against Carolina. Some tough teams ahead of them. They got 1 against the Flyers, 1 against the Penguins, 1 against the Sabres. They have 2 against the Sabres, actually. They played today as well. So they got a little Buffalo coming up. But yeah, it's looking like more and more every day. Obviously, the playoff field is getting more clear. So let's jump right into what happened. We had the Rangers clinch. We got the Arizona Coyotes getting eliminated. So maybe next year from Mullet Arena. Then as things went on, a ton of clinches in one night. The Boston Bruins clinch for the 5th straight season. The Carolina Hurricanes clinch for the 6th straight season. And the Florida Panthers have also clinched for the 5th straight year. And they clinched that one on a day that they lost, actually. They lost to Boston, I believe. And that same day, although they lost, I believe Detroit lost to Carolina. So that is what clinched Florida the spot in the playoffs, because they were now completely in there. So it's a bittersweet moment for me because I felt like, they didn't win and they're looking bad right now. But hey, they're in there. Dallas also clinched for their 3rd straight season, which is wild to me. Because look at that. They were in the Cup final in 2020, and then 2021 missed the playoffs.
Yeah. It's weird, but back to the Panthers. It's got to feel weird in the locker room post game when you lose and then
Clinch the playoffs.
Yeah, like what's it like in that locker room? You think
they probably? I don't even know what to think about that.
Like,
that's an odd one.
It's a weird situation, but it happens all the time.
And they're cold right now. Like they're super cold. They've won 3 of the last 10. But even then, Boston has more points and they have 4 less wins. So it's just how the point system works. How the point system goes. I want them genuinely to win the division. I want them to win the division. That's where I think will be most beneficial for them, because the Rangers are probably going to take the first spot in the whole East, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which would put them playing against the Capitals. I want Florida to take on Tampa Bay first round. I really do. Because I want Florida to beat them. I want to beat them so bad. Florida lost to them in 2021 and 2022. Last year didn't get a chance to play against them. I want them to beat them, but they have to win the division. And for the season, for the rest of the year, they got Montreal, right? Could totally win that game. They have Ottawa twice. Could totally win 2 of those games. They have the Blue Jackets. Again, winnable game.
Not a good team.
And they have Buffalo. The 2 hard games, Toronto and Boston. They haven't beaten Boston all year. They've lost to them, I think, 3 times. Toronto lost to yesterday. So those are the 2 biggest games of the season for the rest of the year for them. The game against Boston might be for the division. Who knows? Because even the Bruins, right? They've had an inconsistent month. They lost to the Rangers and the Flyers. Then they beat the Panthers. Then they lose to the Lightning. Picked up a shootout win over the Caps. This month, they have the Predators tonight. I'm hoping they win. Listen to this schedule. They play the Predators, who are good now, right? They're a good team. Then they play Carolina. Then Florida, who they've dominated, but it's still Florida. Then they play Carolina again. They could lose all 4. They could lose all 4. They really could. Then they end Penguins, Capitals, Senators, which it's much easier to go through that. I'm hoping from the bottom of my heart that Florida is able to take this division and play Tampa Bay first round. That's what I want to see. Because then they play Tampa Bay first round, they get the winner of Boston-Toronto. And that would be that'd be the Atlantic Division Finals right there. You get round 2 from last year. Regardless of how the playoffs go, Florida is guaranteed to play a team at some point in the playoffs that they played last year if they make it past the first round. Guaranteed to happen.
Yeah. It's kind of not weird, but every season it seems like you have the same playoff matchups coming out of the Atlantic Division. It's always Toronto, Tampa Bay, Boston, and Florida.
Let me think about that. So
Seems like
2 years
every
ago,
year.
Boston was a wild card team. You're correct, and the 3 teams was Toronto playing Tampa first round. I think Tampa Bay beat them. Then Florida ended up losing to Tampa in the second round. Fast forward to last season, Florida's the wild card team, but they match up where they're playing the Atlantic Division. So it's Florida, Boston, and then Toronto, Tampa played the first round again, and then it was Tampa, Florida. So you're right. And even the year before that, where it was the Canada Division, you saw Toronto in the playoffs. Florida was in the playoffs. Tampa was certainly in the playoffs. They matched up first round. Do not remember if Boston was in those playoffs or not. But hey, it's an interesting ride, and this year, I don't know. I mean, you thought Buffalo might have been able to take the jump. The Wings started hot, but they're still in there. The Wings could make it. The Wings could certainly make it. And yeah, we had this conversation last year. The Atlantic has established itself. The teams that are in that division, they're good ones. And then the Atlantic is one of the divisions that I feel is very interesting and where there's no teams that are just absolutely awful, I'd say. I feel like, the Red Wings are not awful. Even the Sabres are not awful. Would you say the Senators are awful, or even Montreal may be the only team that's really awful?
Yeah. Well, it's one of the better divisions top to bottom when you look at it.
I feel like the best one is probably the Central, aside from the fact that Chicago's in there. And Pacific has to be the worst. Pacific Division's trash. Straight up.
Yeah.
But yeah, Florida clinched. Dallas clinched. Boston, Carolina, all those teams clinched. And then next day around, the Colorado Avalanche, they punched their ticket. And the Vancouver Canucks, they punched their ticket for the first time since 2020. So Vancouver was in that, when 24 teams made the playoffs back in 2020, it was massive playoff field.
Yeah.
That counted as their last playoff appearance.
Mm-hmm.
But they've done it. Colorado's in there for the 7th year in a row. What it must be to be a Colorado fan. Isn't that just so nice?
7 years in a row, and they won a cup. It's got to be a good feeling.
Boston's on their 8th year in a row making the playoffs. New York only on their 3rd straight year, actually, because they didn't make it in 2021.
Yeah.
And aside from that, it's just there's a couple more teams that have clinched, I believe. No teams have clinched since then. So Vancouver, first time since 2020, making it, and has some rough seasons right there. But that's where we're at right now. And look, the Leafs could have clinched last night. They did not. And the Kraken could have got eliminated last night, but they did not. They won. They stayed alive one more day. And it will apparently be 2 more days because they don't play tonight. Neither of those teams play tonight. So tomorrow you can see some more elimination possibilities right there. Do the Leafs clinch against the Lightning tomorrow?
They just have to win and they
Yeah.
clinch? Let's see. That game is in Toronto. I think Toronto will clinch against Tampa Bay.
And will the Kraken be eliminated? If they lose, they're done.
Yeah, they're done.
They're done. They get the LA Kings. And I believe also the Kings, I believe if tomorrow they have to stay alive, that's the type of stuff going on in the league right now. And today, you're seeing, let's take a look at every team that's eliminated and every team that has clinched. Let's just go right into it. check out the standings. And it's interesting because there's so much that can go down right now. Current matchups you have as well. But altogether, only 5 eliminations. 1 out of the East. Only 1 East team has been eliminated. The Blue Jackets. Whereas out West, Sharks, Coyotes, Ducks, Blackhawks. All eliminated. No new eliminations this week. You believe that? A whole week, no new eliminations.
Yeah, it's interesting. Very interesting for sure.
A lot of new clinchers, though. 3 teams in the West, Stars, Canucks, Avs, all clinched. And obviously New York, Carolina, Boston, Florida. All these teams clinched spots. Who do you believe will be clinching out of the West as far as that 3rd Pacific spot? Will Vegas hold on or will LA steal it?
Vegas or LA? They are separated right now.
A point.
By
3 points.
3
My
points,
mistake.
3 points. Vegas has... Let's take a look at their remaining schedule.
Let's take a look, everybody.
Vegas has a moderately hard schedule. Vancouver twice. Colorado. But then Arizona, Minnesota, Chicago, and Anaheim. So they have a few hard games and a few not so hard games.
Oh, yes.
And the LA Kings, their remaining schedule is...
It is. What is it, bro?
Seattle Kraken, San Jose Sharks, Vancouver Canucks, Anaheim Ducks twice, Calgary Flames, the Minnesota Wild, and the Chicago Blackhawks.
Incredible. We love to see it.
That is one of the biggest cupcake schedules I've seen. Remaining,
it's one of the
biggest
biggest cupcake schedules I have ever seen.
They play the Ducks twice. That's 2 wins. Chicago, that's a win. San Jose, that's another win. Seattle tomorrow night, that's a win. Calgary, probably going to win. The only hard game they have is Vancouver, I think. The LA Kings are going to catch the Vegas Golden Knights.
You heard it first here, everyone. LA is gonna catch. I mean, it's totally possible. It's totally possible. I mean, there's not much more we can talk about. I mean, we're just getting ready to clinch now. That's the point where we're at in the season. We're just getting ready for teams to clinch, looking at everything that can go on. You excited for these playoffs?
Yeah, very excited. We'll hopefully the Rangers come out on top, but just good hockey in general, I think it's going to be this year.
Who do you want to see first round?
It's going to either be the Flyers or Capitals, I think. I would go with the Flyers, I think. The Capitals and Charlie Lindgren always turns it on against the Rangers for some reason.
Charlie
Lindgren turns into Patrick Waugh when he plays the New York Rangers.
So you want to see the Flyers?
I'd rather see the Flyers, yeah.
And now, which team do you not want to see the most out of the East?
In general?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's tough.
Well, I'll give you something. Take it away.
The Carolina Hurricanes. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen?
It's going to most likely happen in the second round. But
that's two best teams in the Metro. That's the Metro final. It's been... Last year, it was not. It was Devils Hurricanes in the Metro final. But the year before, yes, it was Hurricanes Rangers Metro final. That was an exciting series. Very exciting series. As opposed to last year when they just got smashed. Carolina just smashed New Jersey. But you think it's coming back? This is the year that we see the revival of Rangers Hurricanes. I mean, hey, it's not a bad one at all.
No, it's interesting too because I've been to quite a few games down at PNC in North Carolina, Hurricane games.
Okay.
The Rangers fans, they're abundant there. A lot of Rangers fans down there.
Interesting. Rangers fans in Carolina.
Yeah.
Traveling well, I see.
It's
New
Rangers
York's
fans
team, so.
travel well.
It's New York's team, so it better be. Which team out of the West, if they go all the way to the Cup final, do you want to see in the Cup final? Which team is the biggest frauds out west but could make it all the way to the Stanley Cup final?
I'm gonna.
I know it's a tough question to ask because it's like which team is
Yeah.
good enough to make it there, but that you would also want to go against if they can make it
I'm
all
gonna
the way.
say the Vancouver Canucks, just because they don't have any experience in the playoffs,
That's a fair point. They haven't played it since 2020, so
Yeah.
some of these guys in this team
and
weren't there.
the first round play-in thing in 2020 wasn't really playoffs. I'll be
Exactly.
honest.
So that doesn't even.
So yeah, I don't think they have a lot of experience. So I feel like the Canucks would be a team I'd rather see as opposed to Colorado or
Is that a
Vegas.
team you least want to see? What team are you most scared of out of the West? What team gives you think could win this whole thing out from the West Conference?
I go with Colorado. They have the experience.
Colorado, going all
Nathan
the way back.
McKinnon's gonna win the Hart Trophy this year, I think.
Really?
Yeah. Alexander Georgiev, former Ranger, always finds a way to. Former Rangers always kill the Rangers. I don't know if you find that with your teams as well, but with the Rangers, every time a former Ranger plays a Ranger, they score. They do something fantastic.
Nathan McKinnon to win the Hart. I mean, he's the favorite right now. He's the betting favorite all across the board. Behind him, Nikita Kucherov, Connor McDavid. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be McKinnon. Would this be his first ever Hart? I believe so.
I think it is. Because McDavid's won a few. Draisaitl, Kucherov. I don't know if McKinnon has one yet.
So aside from the Hart, who's your Vezina pick? You got a Vezina pick? The betting favorite across the board is Connor Hellebuck.
That's what I was gonna say. Connor Hellebuck. He's top.
Sergei Bobrovsky is actually second in Vezina, which is crazy that he had a resurgence season like that. He was an all-star this year. You know?
Yeah.
You can't knock it. He's been slacking a bit lately, but yeah. Overall, a great season from him.
I'd have to go with Connor Hellebuck for that because he's just consistently. He's top 5 in all major statistical categories.
And
for
is Connor
goalies.
Bedard the Calder winner?
Yeah, I mean, he missed a month of the season, and he still leads rookies in points by a lot. So
It's not even a question.
playing on a team that isn't so great, and he's still putting up almost a point per game. So
I mean, he's the betting favorite by 2,000 right now. So it's pretty much locked in. So Stanley Cup betting odds, right? Take a guess which team is first to win it all in the betting sweepstakes.
believe it was the Florida Panthers.
Nope, not right now.
No.
With the recent losing, they're in second. That's 700 odds. Take a guess which team is number one in betting odds to win it all.
Colorado Avalanche.
Third at 800.
Oh.
Florida's at 700. Colorado's at 800.
Carolina Hurricanes.
At number 1, 650. Guess what place the Rangers are?
5th or 6th, I believe.
They are 6th at 900. Colorado's 3rd, Florida's 2nd, Carolina's 1st. What two teams do you think could be above the Rangers? Colorado's 800, Rangers are 900. There's two teams sitting at 850, tied for 4th best odds.
Dallas.
That's
and
correct.
Boston.
Not Boston. They're actually way down at 1,300. Boston is all the way down at 8th or 9th. They're 9th right now. They're tied for 7th. 7, 8, 9, and 10 are all tied at 1,300, and Boston's one of them.
Is it Vancouver?
They're also tied at 1,300. It's one of them.
This is tough.
Yeah.
Is it Edmonton?
It is the Edmonton Oilers. They're very high. They're at 5. They're tied for 4th with Dallas right now. So they're high on the Oilers this year. I mean, they're due. We talked about that last week. They are one of those teams.
Yeah.
They're one of those teams that is due. But I want to just talk a little more. Since we only had a week of games here, did you notice that most of the days games were stacked, and other days there was no games?
Mm-hmm.
Like last Tuesday when we did the show, Boston beat Florida, Rangers clinched, Pittsburgh beat Carolina. Jake Gensel did not get the revenge game. And we said how Detroit was probably going to beat Washington or lose them. I forget what we said.
Mm-hmm.
But Washington won that game in OT. Nashville beat Vegas in overtime. Jersey beat Toronto. Where'd that come from? Edmonton beat Winnipeg in overtime. Chicago beat Calgary. Arizona beat Columbus. And Montreal beat Colorado. You know, we said these were cupcake games, not even close. Montreal comes out there and beats Colorado.
That's why you play the games for a reason.
Yeah, Seattle beats up on Anaheim. Dallas beat up on the Sharks, whatever. Next day, Ottawa beat Buffalo. Tampa beat Boston. Thursday comes around. Islanders beat Florida. That was a tough one to swallow. I mean, they just don't look good right now. I don't know what to say about it. Trade deadline messed everything up, man. They had it perfect. Before the deadline, they were cruising through the league. And then they went and made some trades, and they have some growing pains right now. Some bad, bad growing pains since then. Really bad.
Yeah.
And on top of that, Ottawa beat Chicago. Pittsburgh just winning games. Toronto beat Washington. Carolina destroyed Detroit. Minnesota got a win. Surprisingly, in that day, Arizona destroyed Nashville too. I wasn't seeing that. That was not on my radar. Not at all on my radar. Dallas snuck past Vancouver with a good one there. And then next thing you know, by then MLB opening day was also that day as well. Buffalo beat Jersey. That was probably their, that's the season over for the Devils. What are your thoughts on, the New Jersey Devils and Devils fans out there? It's over. It's over, right?
Yeah, it's over. It's been over. The injuries.
It's been over.
The goaltending, the injuries, just all. Everything that could have went wrong for the Devils this year went wrong when you think about it. Coming off a 100-point season last year, their goaltending, their defense just hasn't been here this season, and that's what do you expect when you don't have defense and goaltending? You're not going to win games.
That's the most important thing, honestly. That's how Tampa won like 2 Stanley Cups right there. And Colorado won a Stanley Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Like all defense and goaltending. Of course, the offense complements that, but it starts at the very top. I want your thoughts on the fact that the Columbus Blue Jackets currently have a 2-game win streak against the Colorado Avalanche and the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Johnny Hockey wants to win hockey games.
Wants to win games, baby. Ottawa's on a 5-game heater right now, too. Ottawa's on a 5-game win streak. They beat the Devils, Oilers, and then they beat the Sabres and the Blackhawks. And they beat the Jets, too. Like,
the Blackhawks are 6-4 in their last 10 also.
Yo, they're trying to make the playoffs out here. They're trying to make the playoffs out here.
The players don't want to lose.
Of course not. Yeah, not even a question about that.
But it's interesting because last season Chicago played, I don't know what the right word is, but they beat Pittsburgh in the last game of the season, which allowed the Florida Panthers to get into the playoffs.
That was one of my favorite games ever just because of that. You're right about that. Peter Mrazek went off.
Peter Mrazek he's almost like that meme with the sports car in the messy garage.
Yes. Yes.
He's a stud. When he plays some games for Chicago.
You know what's so bad? When you said Messi, I thought about Lionel Messi. I thought you said that. That's literally where my brain. The word Messi didn't even click in my head. I legitimately thought of Lionel Messi before I thought of a messy garage. But anyway,
Peter Mrazek has just plays some fantastic hockey on a terrible team. So
tough guy, man. He's got Connor Bedard now though to help him out.
Yeah,
does have Connor Bedard to help him out.
And another top pick coming in soon. A lot of prospects at the college level. Well, Chicago has a bright future.
On that note, we're going to take a quick break here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. But when we come back, we'll do some live pick'ems and do everything else that we have to offer. So, see you in a second.
And I don't want to believe that maybe this is the end. I know you kind of a tease, but is this really pretend? Something tells me I'm wrong. With you, I never can tell. The way you drag me along, the way I put you through hell. Oh, tell me, am I insane? Is this where we belong? Is it pleasure or pain? That we're still hanging on, going out of my head. You know true love is dead, but what you said has got me hanging on. I can't help but walk through your landmines. 10 feet and I'm going out of my mind. I'm not right without you. Is that so wrong? I can't help but walk through your landmines. I'm bleeding and all I need is a sign. I'm out here and I've been waiting so long. Oh, 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 oh. You got me hanging.
satiated all of my sins. I wanna be good. When I was duty bound, I worked for the Queen. Struck stone by some unknown
WMSC would like to welcome all students to MSU. We are pointing out some of the rules and services on campus to help everyone endure the first few weeks of college. Life with a new roommate can be hard. Luckily, Montclair is here to help you adapt to your unique personalities. When you see a conflict beginning to arise, talk to your RA. They can help you work through any small conflict that may come up between you and your roommate. If the conflict proves too deep for your RA, then they can send you to mediation services to help the two of you come to a resolution. And of course, if all else fails, a roommate change can be done through ResLife. Montclair State University wants their students to be happy and conflict-free. If tensions arise, don't hesitate to reach out and rectify them. For more information, you could visit montclair.edu/residencelife.
Okay, Danner.
Hey everybody, this is Vinilo Versus, and you are listening to 90.3
Ready? After this.
WMSC, the voice of Montclair State. Yeah.
You heard the man right there. We are back here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Connor Cupid alongside Philip Ellers here, and my friend. We got 12 minutes to go. So, let's do some pick'ems for the day. I feel like it's important. Get some pick'ems in. Today, the Washington Capitals play the Buffalo Sabres. Who are you picking to win this game?
The Washington Capitals.
Why is that? Why are you picking the Washington Capitals to win this very game today?
They need it more than Buffalo. Buffalo's virtually eliminated. Washington is competing for the last Metropolitan spot and a wild card spot. Boston needs the game more than Buffalo does, so I think the compete level will be there more from Boston.
I'm going to be taking...
Not Boston, Washington.
I'm about to be taking Washington as well. They do need the game more, and they've got better wins. They've honestly just got better wins on the season. I think this is going to be the one that does it for them, and that's all they need. They need just need one. Just need one to keep themselves moving. They'll be there in no time. I feel like that's the perfect way to go about it. Definitely, I'm going to go with Washington on this one. So, around the order as well, from everyone else here on the Breaking the Ice team, Alex Daly says Washington will win. Daniel Amoya has Washington as well. Justin Brady, however, does have the Buffalo Sabres. Same with AJ Chasen, Tanner Price taking the Washington Capitals. And that's where we're at on that one. But, of course, that's not all we got. We're going to do a little moving on here. And the next one, Florida versus Montreal. I think this is a game the Cats have to get. And I'll take them every day, of course. So give me Florida.
I'm taking Florida here as well.
I mean, it just has to be, right? They're losing, but it's the Montreal Canadiens. Like, come on. This is a team you beat all year. You got to end it right now. I feel like the misery's gone on too long. One more, though. Pittsburgh Penguins, New Jersey Devils. I'm taking the Devils, honestly. They have dominated Pittsburgh all year long from what I can remember. And I feel like this is another opportunity to get a nice win.
I'm going with Pittsburgh back-to-back wins against New York and New Jersey.
Really?
Yeah.
But they haven't beaten the Devils all year long. So who's to say today is the day that finally happens?
I just said that, Connor. Today's the day that finally happens.
And you're just feeling it?
Yeah. I like Pittsburgh tonight.
All right, well, I'm taking the Devils. I feel like consistency shows. Chicago Blackhawks, New York Islanders. I feel like Chicago is a solid squad, but let's be real. I mean, they're doing better the past month. They really are. But the Islanders are at home. They come off a win against the Flyers. They've gotten back into their rhythm. They're going to get one more tonight against the Blackhawks.
Yeah, I'm going with Islanders also. Sorokin's going to be in net today for the Islanders, and I don't think Chicago has the firepower outside of Connor Bedard to get the job done against a top goalie like Sorokin.
So now, next one up here, Ottawa versus Minnesota. You go first. Ottawa, Minnesota.
It's two teams that not much left to play for this season, but I'm going to take Minnesota at home.
Minnesota at home. I'm actually going to go the other way on this one. I'm taking the Ottawa Senators on a 5-game win streak. Like, come on. 5-game win streak for this group. They're moving with a purpose right now. It just seems like when your team is hot, they're hot. I'm going to keep riding with them.
They don't
all
want
the
to
way.
get eliminated.
If they don't, they get eliminated.
No,
So
no,
look,
they don't want to get eliminated.
exactly.
That's the
So
way they're playing.
they got it. They got it on lock, and I feel like it's just the way to go. So next up in this one, a couple more games to keep going. Boston, Nashville.
That's going to be one of the better games tonight, I think. In Nashville, they're not as hot as they were.
That's true. They've died
They're
down
on a
just a tad.
2-game losing streak. Boston's on a 1-game winning streak. I'm going to go with the boys from Boston.
I'm choosing the Preds because Florida needs something here. If they want that division back, this is one of the big chances they're going to get against two good teams playing each other. Nashville's the home team as well. Maybe they can squeeze one out here and give Florida some help playing Montreal. That will vault them back into first in the division. And hey, that's the vision. I see it. That's the vision that I see, and it's the vision I'm taking. Next one up, Anaheim, Calgary. Shoot.
Exciting game.
Exciting game.
Calgary, yeah, I'm going to go with the Calgary Flames. Anaheim Ducks are just not good.
You know, I have the same opinion. Calgary Flames, Ducks are on a 5-game losing streak, and they're bad. So those two combined, Calgary. Give me Calgary. And last but not least, actually a solid, very good game. Vancouver versus Vegas.
That's a very good game, as you mentioned.
It's the last one, and yeah, very good one, no question. Vancouver versus Vegas. Two of the current playoff spots out there in that Pacific Division, 1 and 3, respectively.
Vegas has 7 wins in the last 10 games. Vancouver has 6. Both teams are playing decent hockey, pretty good hockey. Vegas needs it more. I'm taking Vegas tonight.
Vegas needs it more, so he's taking Vegas tonight. I'm taking Vancouver because I feel like they have the edge on them. They split the series 1-1 this year. This is going to be the one Vegas loses while LA gets their leg back up. Certainly an opportunity for Vegas to take an L here. I mean, hey, that's just how it is, and that's pick'ems for the day. You know, crowd clap. And with 5 minutes left here on Breaking the Ice, I'm going to dive into quickly our intramural sports around here. We got Breaking the Chase playing right now. So Breaking the Rim, we lost our game to KFC. Our fellow WMSC friends here, you got Jeremy Rodriguez and Earl Spence on that team. They beat us by 1 point, in fact. But aside from that, Breaking the Chase, we had a tough doubleheader yesterday. You know, the refs are chopping. So let's just give this to them right now. Chopping his back, ladies and gentlemen. That's just how it is, because listen, we felt it all game. We had the arms going. We had the chop motion moving. We just, again, we got to hit better. We got to play defense better. But at the same time, oh boy, I don't know what to say. Don't know what to say, but hey, that's how it be. Hockey. We got a few weeks left. We're going to get some serious clinching next week because, truth be told, there are not many games left at all. And for those listening, we're having a great week coming up in a couple weeks on WMSC. We're going to have live coverage all throughout the entire week of the season. For those who don't know, the NHL season ends on April 18th. April 19th, Breaking the Ice will be held on a Friday in 2 weeks from now. So next week we'll be back April 9th. And then the following week, we have live coverage on WMSC. We'll be live on air the entire week, every hour, every day of the night. So on that Friday, April 19th, Breaking the Ice will move from our normal slot to 11 to 1, a little 2-hour playoff preview special. It's going to be a great episode and a phenomenal one towards the end of the semester. April 19th from 11 to 1 if you want to check us out there on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Earlier in the day as well, Running on Fumes, hosted by Tanner Price from 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. if you want to check that out. And Philip, you're a DJ now, right?
Yes.
So talk about your show. Look at this guy. Look at these guys out here. But that's one. That's one for Nino Danino out there. So, Philip, you got Turnpike Sports.
Turnpike Sports.
Are you going to be participating in 2 weeks?
Anniversary week?
In the 24 hours a day broadcasting.
Yeah, we're going at the normal time, 9 a.m. on Mondays, but we're going to extend it an hour.
9 to 11?
9 a.m. to 11 a.m. on Monday, if you want to check it out. Me and CJ Staniak talking all things Philadelphia and New York sports. Little March Madness in there, maybe, just wrapping that up.
Little March Madness, and we got some great WMC Anniversary Week is going to be a big one. I mean, look, we got every single hour of the day for every week is going to be on this station. And what would you rather listen to than our voices every hour of every day for 5 straight days? How about that? Would you listen to anything else?
No, I think all week I will
He knows.
headphones on, listen to WMSC Upper Montclair.
Yes, the Turnpike Sports got 2 hours, 9 to 11. Breaking the Ice from 11 to 1. We got that. And what's going to be most fun is, I believe it's 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock Monday through Thursday. We're going to have live sports being broadcasted on WMSC. But it's of the WMSC members playing.
Yeah, it's
So
not.
on Monday, there's wiffle ball. Tuesday, kickball. Thursday, dodgeball. And Wednesday, dodgeball. Thursday's got volleyball. Are you in on any of those? I'm playing all 4. I'm in all 4.
I would love to get in on that. It would be a lot of fun. Dodgeball, wiffle ball, volleyball. I just finished up my intramural volleyball season with a rough
How'd y'all do?
We lost in the semifinal. Rough
Got
loss.
far, though.
Yeah, but hoping next year we can go all the way, you know what I mean? Get ourselves an intramural volleyball championship.
Well, everyone, that's it for Breaking the Ice here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Connor Cupin, Philip Ellers, closing this one out here with some great news. And some next week, guaranteed there's going to be a lot more clinch spots. Hopefully everything goes our way. But that's it for Breaking the Ice here. We'll be back April 9th for some more NHL action. Peace.